Your love ain't broken. It's just too big for small cups. You've been out here thinking something's wrong with the way you love, haven't you? Like maybe you're too much, too available, too loyal, too damn caring. And you've been sitting here replaying the times people didn't show up for you, thinking it must have meant you got it wrong. Let me tell you something. Your love ain't the problem, their capacity is. And today we're going to talk about what it means to finally stop taking that personal. The myth that your love is the problem. I'm your host, Sharitha, and this is the Powerfully You podcast, where we heal out loud, tell the truth about our pains, and turn it into power. And if you've ever been the one giving more than you get, loving harder than people can love you back, then you already know it's exhausting, it's frustrating, and if you're not careful, it'll make you start doubting yourself. But what if I told you that the problem was never how you love? What if the real problem is that you're dealing with people who simply don't have the capacity to meet you there? You can't expect unconditional love from people who have never given it to themselves. Here's what I had to realize. You can't expect unconditional love from people who've never even given it to themselves. You can't expect deep accountability from people who won't even look in the mirror long enough to see their own patterns. And yet, that's what many of us do, especially if you are a nurturer, a giver, or an old soul. I used to think if I love them hard enough, if I show them what loyalty and care looks like, they'll want to show me love back in the same way. Boy, was I wrong. And sometimes that works, but not for most people. Because here's the truth, most people aren't avoiding loving you, they're avoiding loving themselves. And if they don't love themselves, they don't even have the language or the tools to love you at the level you deserve. When lack of capacity feels like lack of worth, the hardest part was realizing it had nothing to do with me. For years, I took it personal. I thought if someone didn't show up for me in the way that I showed up for them, it meant that I wasn't enough. I thought it meant they didn't care about me. But really, it meant they didn't care about themselves enough to grow, to heal, to break their own cycles. And once I understood that, I started seeing it everywhere. People trapped in the same emotional loops, avoiding the same inner work, loving in the same shadow conditional ways. It's not that they don't have the opportunity to love deeper, it's that they didn't have the capacity. And I had to stop mistaking lack of capacity for lack of worthiness. Unconditional essence, condition, and access. When I stopped expecting people to love me, I got free. I started giving because I wanted to, not because I felt like I should, not because I was hoping for something in return. And when I saw that someone treated my efforts as disposable, I stopped giving there, not out of pettiness, but out of self respect. And I learned something powerful. Your love can still be unconditional in essence, but it doesn't have to be unconditional in access. You can still be a lover, a giver, a nurturer, without offering yourself up to people who don't know how to hold what you give. Devil's advocate. Isn't that just keeping score? Now, I can hear someone saying, but Sharitha, isn't that just keeping score? Isn't love supposed to be about giving without expecting anything back? And I hear you. But there's a difference between giving without expecting repayment and allowing yourself to be drained dry by people who would never pour back into you. Healthy love flows. It's not about tit for tat, but it is about mutual care. If I'm in a relationship, friendship, family, romantic, and I'm the only one initiating care, showing up, checking in, holding space, that's not love. That's imbalance. And imbalance will rot even the purest intentions if you let it. Reflective moment. Who's getting more of you than they can handle? So if so I want you to sit with these questions. Who in your life are you loving beyond their capacity to love you back? Are you giving from overflow or from obligation? How would it feel to give only to spaces that can hold what you give? If you stop expecting them to be like you, how much peace would you gain? Final soul truth. Protect the places where your love can grow. Your love is not the problem. Stop shrinking it. Stop questioning it. Stop twisting yourself to fit into the small boxes of people who haven't even learned to love themselves. Their capacity is their responsibility. Your responsibility is to protect your energy and place your love where it's honored. Because when you do, you're not just protecting yourself, you're making room for the people who can meet you there. If this episode spoke to you, take this truth with you today. Your love is sacred. Not everyone is equipped to hold it, and that's okay. Place it where it can grow, not where it will be wasted. This has been the Powerfully You podcast. I'll see you next time.